Welcome to Everyday Learning 365.
Imagine this, a messenger traveling for billions of years through the absolute emptiness between stars, and it's carrying a secret from a totally different world. Today, we're going to dive into the incredible journey of one of these travelers that just paid our solar system a visit.
I mean, really, just stop and think about that. A genuine piece of something from a world orbiting a completely different sun. What would it even look like? How would it possibly get here?
Well, here's the thing. It's not a thought experiment anymore. This is real. Our cosmic neighborhood gets visitors all the time. Now, they don't show up in spaceships. They arrive as these ancient frozen relics from other solar systems. And we are about to dig into the story of Comet 3I/Atlas, which is only the third confirmed interstellar visitor we have ever seen.
Okay, so to really get how special this visitor is, let's first make sure we're all on the same page. What exactly do we mean when we say a visitor from the stars?
An interstellar object is basically a cosmic nomad. It's a chunk of rock or ice that isn't tied down by gravity to any one star. It probably formed in another solar system and then somehow got kicked out, sent flying through that vast dark space between stars for millions, maybe even billions of years.
And this little table here shows you just how exclusive this club is. Before 2017, the grand total of known interstellar visitors was 0, a big, fat 0. Then bam, in 2017, ʻOumuamua showed up, this really bizarre, rocky, cigar-shaped thing. Then came Borisov in 2019, which looked a lot more like a normal comet. And that brings us to our guy, 3I/Atlas, whose arrival kicked off one of the biggest observation campaigns in history.
All right, let's get to the main event. Meet the third interloper, Comet 3I/Atlas.
So, picture this. It's July 1st, 2025. A telescope down in Chile, part of a NASA project called Atlas, spots this faint little smudge. And that name is pretty cool. The 3I literally means it's the third interstellar object we found, and Atlas is a shout out to the telescope system that discovered it.
And astronomers knew immediately that this was something special. The dead giveaway? It's speed. I mean, get this. It was clocked at a mind-boggling 130,000 miles per hour. That is just unbelievably fast. Way too fast to be from around here.
So you might be asking, how can they be so sure? Well, it all comes down to the path it took. See, everything that belongs to our solar system is kind of stuck on a racetrack, an ellipse, held in place by the sun's gravity. But 3I/Atlas was moving so fast, the sun's gravity just couldn't grab it. Its path was wide open, a hyperbola. It was a flyby, a one-way ticket through our solar system with no chance of return. The second everyone realized what they were looking at, a genuine visitor from another star, they didn't just, take a few pictures and call it a day. No way. They launched a full-blown solar system-wide hunt. This was a true all-hands-on-deck moment. I'm talking about an absolutely incredible, coordinated effort. They pointed 12 different NASA spacecraft and telescopes at this thing. It was basically like assembling the Avengers of astronomy, a team of cosmic detectives, each one ready to find a unique clue. And first up, the team with the best seats in the house, the Mars crew. As the comet zipped past the red planet, 3 NASA missions that were already there, 2 orbiters and the Perseverance rover down on the surface, all turned their instruments to the sky.
And what a view it was. They were just 19 million miles away. That's practically next door in space terms. And they got the closest, most detailed pictures we have. And get this, the MAVEN orbiter spotted this massive halo of hydrogen gas just boiling off the comet. This was our first big clue about what this thing was actually made of.
All right, next on the case were the Sun Watchers. Now, these are spacecraft whose whole job 24/7 is just to stare at our sun. But it turns out that unique perspective made them perfect for this mission too.
See, here's their superpower. At one point, from our view here on Earth, the comet completely disappeared into the sun's glare. It was totally invisible to us. But for missions like Stereo and SOHO, no problem. They could track it the entire time. It meant we had this unbroken chain of observation. We never lost sight of it. And it didn't even stop there. Even spacecraft that were in the middle of their own completely different missions got roped in. We're talking about the Lucy spacecraft on its way out to the Trojan asteroids and the Psyche spacecraft headed to a bizarre metal world. They both literally hit pause on their main quests to turn and get a good look at the visitor as it flew by.
So, with all of this incredible data pouring in from every corner of the solar system, what did we actually find out? What secrets was this ancient messenger carrying?
Well, its recipe was a fascinating mix of the familiar and the strange. On one hand, you had all the usual suspects you'd expect in a comet: water ice, carbon monoxide, the standard stuff. But then there was this, a surprisingly high amount of nickel. Now that's weird, but here's where it gets really interesting. The last interstellar comet we saw, 2I/Borisov, it also had a lot of nickel. That's a huge clue. It could mean that comets from other star systems have their own unique chemical signature.
And this quote from Chris Lintott at the University of Oxford just perfectly captures the scale of this. He said, and I quote, "This is a comet that formed in another solar system, most likely more than 8 billion years ago, which means it is older than our solar system and the oldest thing we've ever seen close up." Just let that sink in for a second. We're looking at a relic from a time before our sun even existed. It's unbelievable.
So what's the big picture here? What does the visit from this ancient messenger really tell us about our own little place in the galaxy? This is why it's such a game changer. Look, we can't just hop in a spaceship and travel to another star system. Not yet anyway. But with objects like 3I/Atlas, we don't have to. The other star systems are, in a way, coming to us. These visitors are physical samples, the actual raw building blocks of planets, delivered right to our cosmic doorstep. Studying them gives us a peek into how solar systems might be forming and changing all across the galaxy.
And maybe the most mind-bending part of this whole story comes when you ask, okay, so how many more of these things are out there? Well, astronomers took the data from the few we've spotted and crunched the numbers, and the estimate they came up with is just staggering. 10,000.
Yep, you heard me right. Scientists estimate that on any given day, like right now as you're listening to this, there are probably about 10,000 interstellar objects passing through our solar system. Our cosmic neighborhood isn't some quiet, isolated place. It's a bustling interstellar highway. And with all of that traffic, we've only ever managed to spot 3. Just 3.
It just goes to show you how much is still left to discover, right? With powerful new telescopes coming online very soon, we are on the verge of finding so many more of these cosmic travelers, which leaves us with one final, profound question. How many more messengers are out there, just waiting for us to find them?